Have you ever met someone and felt an inexplicable connection, like the universe itself orchestrated the moment? It may have seemed like a coincidence, a chance encounter, but deep down, something whispered that this meeting was meant to happen. Maybe it was a mentor who arrived just as you were about to give up, or a friend who understood you without a single word. Or perhaps it was a stranger who crossed your path for mere seconds, yet somehow shifted your entire perception of life. Carl Jung, one of the most profound minds of modern psychology, had a name for these moments. Synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence that reveals a hidden order beneath the surface of everyday life. And when it comes to human relationships, Jung believed that the people who show up in your life are not random. Each person carries a symbolic role in your personal evolution. They are mirrors, messengers, or even catalysts sent not to comfort you, but to awaken you. In this video, we'll dive deep into the spiritual psychology of connection and why no encounter is ever meaningless. 1. The people we attract are reflections of our inner state. We often say, "I don't know why I always fall for the wrong person." Or, "Why do I keep attracting emotionally unavailable people?" It feels like a cruel joke of the universe. But Jung had a different perspective. He proposed that our unconscious mind draws people into our lives based on our unresolved wounds and unmet needs. It's not about bad luck, it's a mirror. The world outside us reflects the world within us. If you constantly find yourself in one-sided relationships, perhaps your inner child still seeks validation it never received. If people consistently betray your trust, maybe a part of you doesn't trust yourself to set boundaries or walk away. These patterns aren't punishments. They are invitations to heal again and again until the lesson is fully learned. 2. Healing begins with awareness, not blame. It's easy to point fingers. He hurt me. She took me for granted. They never appreciated me. But blaming others keeps you stuck. Healing begins the moment you stop asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and start asking, "What part of me allowed this, tolerated this, or didn't see it coming?" This is not about self-blame, it's about self-responsibility. And responsibility is power. The truth is, you cannot control who walks into your life, but you can control how you respond to them, whether you welcome them with awareness or with blind emotional dependency. In my own life, I've seen this truth unfold many times. There were seasons where I craved connection so deeply, I ignored every red flag. I idealized people who showed me breadcrumbs of affection and justified their absence as just being busy. But in reality, I was avoiding the loneliness within me, hoping someone else would fill it. They didn't. They couldn't, because that was never their job. 3. Relationships are classrooms of the soul. The soul does not learn through books or lectures, it learns through experience. And there is no experience more transformative than human connection. Every relationship, no matter how brief or intense, teaches something. Some people teach you how to love. Some teach you how to let go. Some show you what it feels like to be seen. Others show you what it feels like to be invisible and remind you to never make someone else feel that way. But the most profound lesson is this. Every person you meet is either a mirror or a magnifier. A mirror shows you what's inside. A magnifier amplifies what's already there, whether it's joy, pain, fear, or longing. If you meet someone and suddenly feel alive, it's not that they gave you life. It's that they reminded you of the life already within you. But if you meet someone and feel broken, they didn't break you. They revealed the parts of you that still need mending. For attraction isn't always alignment. We often confuse intensity with compatibility. A spark isn't always a sign from a universe. It can also be a flare from your trauma, that intoxicating connection that feels like fate. Maybe your inner wounds recognizing a familiar pattern, not because it's healthy, but because it's known. Jung warned us about this. He said we are drawn to people who carry traits of our shadow self, the parts of us we suppress or deny. That's why we often fall for people who trigger us. They awaken the unhealed layers of our psyche. But here's the hard truth. Just because someone awakens you doesn't mean they're meant to stay. Some people enter your life not to walk with you, but to shake you awake. And their departure isn't failure, it's graduation. 5. The turning point. Choosing conscious relationships. Once you become aware of your patterns, you gain the power to break them. This is a turning point. You no longer seek to be completed, you seek to be understood. You don't beg for attention, you value peace over chaos. You stop chasing intensity and start choosing authenticity. That's when a new kind of person starts showing up, not the one who feeds your ego, but the one who speaks to your soul, not the one who plays games, but the one who sees through your silence. At this point in my journey, I've learned to ask better questions. Not do they like me, but do they respect my growth? Not do they make me feel butterflies, but do they bring me peace? The right person might not sweep you off your feet, but they will hold space for your truth, walk beside you in stillness, and remind you that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. We explore how the people who enter your life are never random. They are reflections, teachers, and sometimes mirrors of your pain. But what happens when the connection feels real yet still ends? What if someone once felt like home, but eventually became a storm? How do you make peace with that? The answer lies not in forcing permanence, but in understanding that some people are not meant to stay forever. They are meant to awaken something you have forgotten about yourself. 6. When it's time to let go even if it still hurts. Letting go is never easy, especially when the bond was meaningful. But clinging to someone who's no longer aligned with your journey is like trying to keep a flower alive by pressing it between the pages of a book. It may look the same, but it has stopped growing. The people who outgrow you or whom you outgrow did not fail you. They serve their purpose. And sometimes the most powerful act of love is to release them with gratitude instead of bitterness. I remember once holding on to someone I deeply cared for, even when everything in me knew the season had ended. I confused love with loyalty. But what I've learned is you can love someone and still walk away, because love without growth is not harmony, it's stagnation. 7. Projection versus intuition, learning to see clearly. One of the most profound shifts in conscious connection is learning to distinguish intuition from projection. Projection happens when we see others not as they are, but as we want or fear them to be. We romanticize red flags, overanalyze silence, and assign meaning to behaviors that may not reflect reality. But intuition is quiet, calm, and clear. It doesn't beg or panic. It simply knows. The challenge is, trauma screams louder than intuition. So many of us confuse the rush of anxiety with a spiritual sign. But the soul doesn't speak in chaos, it speaks in clarity. If you find yourself constantly doubting someone's intentions, feeling drained instead of nourished, or chasing validation, pause, ask yourself, am I seeing this person as they are, or as I wish they were? Because relationships built on projection are castles made of sand. 8. The inner shift from seeking to attracting. When you begin to heal, your energy shifts. You stop chasing love and start attracting resonance. The people who once thrilled you with their unpredictability begin to exhaust you. The chaos that once felt like passion now feels like emotional warfare. And something amazing happens. You start choosing people who feel like peace. You no longer need someone to complete you. You want someone to witness you. You stop performing for love and start being love. This is a turning point from unconscious connection to conscious partnership. You become magnetic not because of how you look or what you do, but because you become deeply rooted in your own presence. People feel safe with you, and more importantly, you feel safe with yourself. 9. Every ending is also a beginning. Every goodbye carries within it the seed of a new hello. When someone leaves, it doesn't mean the story failed. It means the chapter served its purpose. And in the silence that follows, you begin to hear your own voice again. You realize that pain was not punishment. It was a portal. It opened your heart. It revealed your needs. It humbled your ego, and it brought you back to yourself. As someone who has navigated heartbreak, betrayal, disconnection, I now see each person who entered my life as a spiritual appointment. Some stayed. Some hurt me. Some helped me grow. But none were wasted. 10. Real love doesn't rush. It recognizes. In a world of fast feelings and fleeting attention, real connection is quiet and intentional. It doesn't rush to define or possess. It doesn't manipulate or prove. It simply recognizes. When someone truly sees you not just your beauty, but your shadows and stays with presence and integrity, that is sacred. And when you become that kind of person for yourself, gentle, honest, grounded, you naturally draw in others who speak the same soul language. It doesn't mean the journey becomes perfect. It means it becomes real. Final reflections. Nothing is coincidence. Everything is alignment. So the next time someone enters your life, pay attention, not just to their words or appearance, but to how your soul responds. Ask yourself, what are they here to teach me? What do they awaken within me? What part of my story do they help me rewrite? Because the truth is, you are not meeting people by accident. You are meeting them by resonance. Your energy, your wounds, your wisdom, they are speaking louder than your words. And as you evolve, so will the people you attract. It is not fate. It is frequency. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to pause and reflect. Who have been the greatest teachers in your life? Which connections hurt the most but taught you the most? And how have you changed because of them? If you found value in this perspective, consider sharing it with someone who may need this reminder today. Let's keep spreading the awareness that love is not just about romance, it's about soul growth, healing, and awakening. Subscribe for more deep insights on human connection, spirituality, and inner transformation, because the journey doesn't end here. It's only just beginning.